If it's not broke, then don't fix it. That's a common saying that you hear come from service members a lot. And today we're going to be talking about the push-up. And I'm not going to try to tell you that the push-up's broken, because it should absolutely be part of your training routine. Rather, there were two faults identified, and that was the military's ability to teach people how to correctly perform the push-up and to ensure correct execution whenever it came to tests. Because of these two faults, the Army introduced arm extension protocols into its new combat fitness test. We're going to go over how to properly train and set yourself up with a high level of preparedness whenever you go to the new combat fitness test and you go to this event. What are the exercises and movements and stretches that you need to have inside your training routine to make sure that you're ready and perform your best? So to lead off with, there are 3 exercises that we put right at the top that need to be inside of your training routine, not only for arm extension protocols, but just for push-ups in general. The first one of these we're going to talk about is referred to as a metronome push-up. Now, you are going to need some extra type of equipment for this. You're going to need a metronome, or you can go to either the Apple or Android store and download the app and put it on your phone. The Army does have a PRT app, and inside there is a metronome inside of it. We usually recommend to people to set it at 50 beats per minute, and all you're going to do is go ahead and start the metronome, and you're going to start correctly executing the push-ups. You're going to stay with the pace that the metronome is beeping at. So whether it's beeping or chirping or whatever, whenever it beeps, you'll be at the top. When it beeps again, you need to be at the bottom. Whenever it beeps again, you need to be at the top. Whenever it beeps again, you need to be at the bottom. So you're just going to move with the metronome. Now, this is an exercise that does require a lot of focus and attention, because as soon as you start to feel any part of your body break correct form, 1, identify that, because that's probably where the weak point is that you need to start addressing. 2, that's what we actually want you to measure. This is not a timed event, this is a rep event. Right? So how many reps can you correctly get in, staying with the pace of the metronome? That's what we're looking for you to do. The second thing that this really does a good job of is whenever you go to any PT test event for any branch of the service, you're going to be expected to some type of strength endurance measurement to exceed 1.5 to 2 minutes. You're going to have to teach your bodies to push fuel out to the muscles over that extended period of time. And this is a great way to start to teach your body that. Like I said, whether it be 1.5 minutes, whether it be 2 minutes, in some cases it's 3 minutes, you need to start teaching your body that under stress, facing resistance, to push out and fuel muscles over that extended period of time. And this is a great way to start that. The next one that we're going to be talking about is referred to as a rocket man. That's what we like to call it here. Once again, a very simplistic exercise. You're just going to lay down on the ground, nose in the dirt, and you're going to have your palms facing down. You're going to have your pinkies all the way back beside your hips. This is a timed exercise. This is not one that we do for reps. And whenever you're ready to begin, you're going to pick your palms up off the marching surface, so they're all the way up off the ground, and you're going to rotate at your elbow and bring your thumb all the way up by your shoulder and keep your palms up off the ground the whole time. Once you're there, you're going to extend your hands out into a Y, try to hold it for 1 to 3 seconds, and then return and pull your thumbs back in towards your shoulder and rotate at the elbow and bring your pinkies back towards your hip. What this is doing is teaching your body that shoulder mobility that's going to be important for you, not only to load bearing and moving over through obstacles, but also to be able to extend your arms out whenever you're doing the hand release push-ups on test day. So this is an important thing that you need to have inside your toolkit. This is a great mobility exercise to help you build up for it. Once again, this is not a rep exercise, this is a timed exercise. So set yourself a clock for 30, 45 seconds, even 1 minute, and start teaching your body to push the fuel source out to the body over that extended period of time. The last one we're going to be doing is what we refer to as a box forward strike. So this does require a band, and just find somewhere that you can anchor it down. It can be to a pole, to a door, anything. Remember, if you anchor to a door, you want to pull against the jamb. You're anchor this down somewhere around shoulder height. You're going to put it through one hand, so that way it's running right beside your thumb, and you're going to pull the thumb all the way back to your shoulder, and you're going to walk out until you have good tension against that shoulder joint, so your thumb's pulled up all the way against your shoulder joint, making sure that your shoulder stayed squared off whatever anchor point that you have. Once you've walked out far enough that you think you're good and comfortable with, and there's good stress against it, go ahead and tighten your stomach and slightly lean forward. All right, just a little lean forward, not at the hips, at the ankles, and then you're going to extend your elbow all the way out and try to get it to where you can lock your elbow out, fighting that pressure of the band. And bands are really great because the more you push against them, obviously the more tension that's there. Once you fully extend your elbow, bring your thumb back to your shoulder again, and just continue to repeat on that side. What is the point of this movement? What are we trying to teach you? In order to correctly perform a push-up, you need to know where your elbow is at the whole time, and that's what this one is doing. It's helping you learn to maximize your elbow. Whenever people go to perform the hand release push-ups, one of the things that we'll start to see as they start to tire out is their upper arm will move closer to that 90-degree angle as they're actually executing the push-up away from their body. And you need to teach your body to consistently go back to that 30 to 45-degree angle off your shoulder. Regularly bring that elbow back. We want it to learn that this is correct, that this is right. So even whenever you're on rep 55, you're still bringing that elbow, into that same angle and pushing. What this is this is the point to where you have the most control over the most period of time. As that elbow glides up away from the body and you go more to that 90-degree angle executing push-ups, you do have more control, but you don't have the ability to generate power over a very long period of time just because there's no large muscles that's activated in doing it. And on the vice versa, whenever the elbow is all the way up against the body, it's really hard for the body to control the joint at that period. So everybody's going to be slightly different, but somewhere that 30 to 45 degrees of that elbow off from the shoulder joint is where you're going to be your strongest for the longest. And that's what you need to find. And you need to teach your body how to consistently go back to this point. After every rep, this is where you want it to go back to. And this will not only benefit you for the PT test whenever you go out to do the hand release push-up, but this will benefit you in any type of physical activity that you may encounter inside your workplace or in your profession. Very simple exercise. Timer reps, either ones are acceptable. Just make sure that you're trying to hit the same number on the opposite side. If you're doing it for 45 seconds, do it for 45 seconds on both sides. The next set of exercises that we're going to go over are really good to have in your training routine just to throw in some variety to help battle some fatigue. To start off with, we're going to do a T-press push-up. Now, this is an 8-count push-up, and this is a great one just to have inside your training routine. Like I said, just to have something different to break up the variety. Starting position is going to be same for the hand release push-up, the front lean and rest position. And whenever you're ready, you're going to go ahead and drop your shoulders down to your thumbs and press yourself back up. All right, that's count 1 and count 2. And once you're all the way up, you're going to, right or left, either one, pick your left hand up off the ground and rotate at the planted shoulder until both your elbows and shoulders are directly stacked over top of the other one. So you formed a good T with your back. Try to hold this for 1 to 2 seconds. And this is count 3 all the way up at the top, and count 4, bringing that hand back down to the marching surface. And once you bring the hand that was up back down to the marching surface, you're then going to lower your whole body as a singular unit. Back down, bring your shoulders down to your thumbs, and press back up. And this time we're going to alternate sides. So if you raised your left hand up last time, this time you're going to raise your right hand. Once again, you're going to raise it until both the elbow and the shoulder are stacked over top of the opposite one. This will be count 5 and 6. We'll return back down to the ground on count 7, and that will complete the 8th count of this movement. Really good alternative just to have inside of your training routine. Usually this is a rep counting event. Try to see how many reps that you can get in. Make sure that you do maintain that good core tightness while you're doing this, because there is a lot of transitional forces that are going back and forth. And it's good at teaching your body to have the chest and back muscles working together when executing the hand release push-up or the T-press push-up. Next one we're going to go over is referred to as an upside down press. And generally this works best with a kettlebell. That's what we'll be demonstrating it with whenever we do this. Very simple exercise. Find a kettlebell, set it down on the ground. Whatever is going to be your action side, the hand that's going to be raising and lifting the kettlebell, we're going to put that knee down into the ground. And it doesn't matter if you forward lunge or rear lunge. Just make sure that the action side knee is the one that's down on the ground. So we're going to grab it by its top, and we're going to hold it up, and we're going to actually balance it in our wrist, in our grip, whenever we're down there. And whenever we're ready, we're going to go ahead and fully extend our elbow and shoulder straight up overhead and maintain that balance as we raise it up. And as we bring it back down, once again, we're balancing it until our upper arm is parallel to the marching surface. We're at a 90 degrees. And once we're down there, once again, we're going to raise it straight back up and straight back down, holding it that good 90 degrees. Generally, we do like you to have just a slight inward tilt on your shoulder. We don't want you to try to press it all the way out 90 degrees off from the body, just a slight inward tilt on it. And remember, the point of this exercise, you're not trying to move a weight that's really hard, that's really heavy for the shoulder to try to press up. You're trying to balance that weight inside of your grip. So you're going to feel a lot of back tightness as it's trying to balance everything through. And these are going to be the same muscles that are responsible for the extending of your arms out whenever you're doing the hand release push-up. And that's what we're trying to train. This can be either a rep or time set Either one of them is fine, but similar, make sure that whichever you're doing on one side, you're doing the same on the other. And whenever you're done, just obviously put it down, switch sides, you're gonna have the opposite knee down on the ground, pick it up, and you're rotating back up and back down again. Very simple exercise to do and can really help a lot with those rotator cuff muscles whenever you're trying to press out for your hand release push-up. Next one in the shoot is referred to as a plyometric push-up. It's going to be one of the very few power movements that we're going to have inside your training routine. All you're going to do for it, starting position, is you're going to be in the push-up position, the front lean and rest position, straight up over top, and you're going to lower your whole body as a singular unit down until your shoulders come down to your thumbs, and then with as much explosive force as you can, push yourself back up and try to get your hands to clear the marching surface. Try to get them to come up slightly. And as you come back down, don't try to land with stiff elbows. Try to have your arms absorb the impact and allow your force to carry you through into the ground and stop and break you before you're able to hit the ground. This does a really good exercise of taking us through our stretch shortening cycle for a lot of exercises, being able to stretch that muscle all the way out, go as far down as we can, and then explosively contract it and get ourselves away from the marching surface as much as we can. So power is, we always want to have some type of power training inside a routine because power will outlast strength and endurance. Those are both fairly fleeting. Power lasts. So if you're able to get some good power reps inside of your training routine to improve your overall push-ups, whenever you do have to pick up and go to school for 2 months, or you're in part of redeployment or deployment, and you have those transitional periods where you're not able to actually train a lot, that power training transitions very well. Next in the shoot is going to be the one-arm push-up. It's not as scary as it sounds, and it's actually a great build-up to being able to do more push-ups. You're going to be laying with either your right or left shoulder down on the ground, and try to have that good shoulder and hip in good alignment, core is nice and tight. As far as leg placement, there's not really a correct answer, but just know whether you want to have a knee slightly forward or good and straight alignment. Whichever one is right for you, whichever one you find correct, continually go back to that. So if your right shoulder's down, you're going to be taking your left hand, you're going to be placing the palm big and wide, right on the ground, kind of right in front of your right chest. Once you got it down there, you're going to take your right arm and reach up and grab the back of your left arm. Grab that shoulder, grab that tricep. Whenever you're ready to execute the movement, all you're going to do is start to fully extend that plant hand, that plant arm. Try to fully extend that elbow out until you can get it as straight as you can, and pick up that plant shoulder up off the ground. So you're going to slightly hinge at the hips and pick it up off the ground and try to hold that arm at good full extension for just 1 to 3 seconds, and then lower your shoulder back down to the ground. And then once it's down there again, once again, extend that elbow up and back down. Up and down. One arm push up, just hinging at the hips. Once again, for your feet and legs, just know which one is the right answer where you want to put them. This tends to be a rep exercise, so we're going to count how many reps we can do on both sides and try to consistently see improvement on it. Now we're going to go over push-up plus. This is a great exercise to help you learn to move as a singular unit whenever you're doing the push-up. So we're going to go to the front lean and rest position, feet down. We're going to have them inside of our hips, hands down right in front of us, back right directly underneath or slightly in front of our shoulders. Once we're down there, we're in our good push-up position. The point of this exercise is we're going to try to make our spine travel as far as we can up and back down. So keeping our shoulders nice and still, we're just going to flex our back, get our spine as far away as we can from the ground, and then we're going to drop our chest as far down as we can down through our shoulders, letting our chest fall down as close as we can to the ground. And same thing again, back all the way up, all the way down. So this is going to do a great job at helping us learn how to move as a singular unit whenever we push up. And those small muscles that are underneath our arms that are responsible for controlling our shoulder in space, they're going to be really activated. A very good endurance movement that you can have inside your training routine is just banded push-ups. To properly execute these, you're just once again find a good anchor point for a band. This can be once again a door, it can be any type of post, something that's not going to be able to move. And if it's door, remember to make sure that you're pulling against the door jamb. You're going to go inside the loop itself, make sure that the band is over top of the gap in your thumbs. You're going to have them pulled all the way back to your shoulder, and you're going to be stepping out. Once you're stepped out, and you're good and confident of the amount of tension that you have on your band, Make sure you slightly lean forward. One key note that I want to emphasize whenever you're doing banded push-ups is make sure you go ahead and tuck your chin. Whenever you do the push-up for the hand release push-up or for any indoor service, what we don't want you to do is have your head look up. We don't want you looking in front of you. That's going to cause that natural arching in your back. It's usually referred to as cervical flexion. We don't want you to have that. We want you to actually have your chin tucked down good inside. We want you to have it anchored down. And this is a good place to practice that whenever you're doing these banded push-ups. So with your chin tucked, thumbs all the way back against your shoulder, slightly lean forward, hinging at the ankles, not at the hips. Go ahead and start extending your arms all the way out and extending them back in. Now, we're going to use this as an endurance exercise. So set the clock for 1 minute, set it for 90 seconds. And pump your arms as much as you can, making sure that you're aware where your elbows are at in space, getting as much good endurance training as you can. Once again, you're training your body how to exert force, how to fuel those muscles over that extended period of time. This is something that your body needs to learn. If you're not allowing your body to adapt to fueling muscles over this extended period of time, then it won't know to do it. And this is a very easy exercise that you can control the resistance on, and that you can start teaching your body to adapt to fueling those muscles over that full 2 minutes. Very good simple exercise for you to be able to do that. So there are a number of stretches that we really recommend to help you be ready for test day. The first one we want to go over is referred to as a cop drill. You're just going to be leaning back against the wall, back's all the way against the wall. Back of your head's against the wall. Usually we have people slightly pull their butt back away from the wall, so that way you've kind of fully leaned with your back up against it. Then you're going to rotate at your shoulder and try to place your elbow and the back of your hand against the same wall that your head's on, right? So try to get both of them fully all the way back. If you can't, go to where the limits that you have are. You should be, if you have good range of motion throughout your shoulders and elbows, you should be able to reach them back there. If you can't, then there's obviously impingements or restrictions in the motions there. Go to the range that you're at and just start to work at it continually every day, so that way the muscles and the fascia begin to loosen up to where you do eventually gain that, work towards that full range of motion. Once you're there, all you're going to do is push your back, your hands and your elbows. You're going to start extending your elbow and your shoulder as if you're signaling a field goal, right? So hands up, extend them up as if you're signaling a field goal, and bring them back down. Allow those back muscles, the ones that are responsible for controlling where your elbows are at in space, allow them the chance to get that good stretch in. This is a great one to have at the end of your workout. This is a good active cool down to be involved in it. The last one we're going to go over is referred to as shoulder deductions, and this is a good one for the chest and shoulders. It does require some type of broom or pole for you to be able to hold on to, some type of straight bar. So you're going to just take good bear grip toward thumbs and fingers around it, and you're just going to swing your arms and the pole back over top of your head. Try to bring the pole all the way back to your lower back. If you can't do this, first try to widen up your grip until the point that you can be able to get your hands to go all the way behind your back and bring the bar back. If you can't find a pole that's long enough, then just kind of same deal whenever we were doing a cop drill. Take it to the full range of motion that you can and just start working it into your daily training routine to where you're regularly every day just making that stretch, so that way you start to gain that range of motion back again. A few alternates that we can put inside this. If you want to, you can do this one arm to where you're just having one arm kind of rotate and hinge over the other shoulder, so that way it's getting its good full range of motion. Try to get equal on both sides, make sure that it's fairly even. So this is our video on how to prepare for the hand release push-up. Some things that you need to have inside your training routine, some things that you need to have in your daily workouts, so that way you have a high level of preparedness going into the test and that you're confident that you do your best. And these will not only help you on test day, but these will help you in the profession of arms that you have chosen to do. My name is Benjamin Morris. I'm the founder here at Outtrain. I'm a tactical strength and conditioning facilitator. I'm a military master fitness trainer and a master resilience instructor. And I've completed 10 cycles as drill sergeant, so I have taught a lot of people how to do push-ups in my military career. I thank you for your time. Remember, pressure is a privilege, and out.